guys, it's Blackie. Okay, recently I did a thing where I set up a quick tripod and I suspended a pot. And I've had several of you ask to could you go back over that again? Okay, so here we go. I've done this type of video before, but if you would like to see it again, I'll be happy to show it to you again. In a nutshell, all this is something that I carry anyway, which is a Canadian jam knot. And someone suggests I change it to an Alabama jam knot, but it's, as I learned it, it was a Canadian jam knot, and it's one of my bushcraft zip ties. Okay, you have the key knot, you have the big stop knot, and on the other end you have just another knot, and it's whatever length you have. Okay, this one's probably about 24 inches, something like that. Now you start with 3 poles of roughly the height you think you're going to need. Now this is going to be just a down and dirty, real quick tripod to suspend a small pot over a heat source. So I don't need very big or very elaborate. Okay, if I'm doing a big stock pot or a big bush pot and we're going to be here several days, I'll go ahead and create a much more substantial tripod, and then I'll lash things to it and make it like a kitchen for all kinds of uses around the fire. But for this is one of them things I'm just going to put together. I'm going to utilize it. When I'm done, I'm going to reclaim my cordage, and I'm just going to throw the sticks down and walk off. So that's what this is about. We're going to start with 3 sticks. These 3 sticks are roughly the same diameter. And I'll give you an idea how big they are. Now I'm going to put one of the big ends to the top. So it's 2 small ends up top, and I'm going to turn the other one upside down so the big end, that's the way it grew on the tree, was like that. So this is the big end, that's the end of the limb, so it's smaller. Put it up here. I'm just going to put the 3 of them together. Then I'm going to take my bushcraft zip tie. I'm simply going to take it and go around my finger and poke the end back through that hole. Okay? Now I've got that loop ready. I'll come up here about one hand down from the top, something like that. I'm going to go around twice, and then I'm going to go through that opening, that loop I created to begin with. Now, pulling it down tight, I just start going around and pulling until it cinches down. Okay, give it a good tug. You hear it go click. It's now locked. Now that is structurally holding itself because that jam knot is biting. Now I take it and I'm going to separate it by pulling the legs apart like this, and that has created my tripod top. Now why did I want the big one at the top? This is where I'm going to hang my pot off of. Okay, so this one big one becomes the place where I'm going to hook my pot. Now the next step is we're going to create right quick the hanger of it. That's a dingle stick hanger for a pot hook. Let me set that up right quick. Okay, now I've got my supply of bank line. Put that right there. I've got a hook that's just a limb that I've cut off and peeled the bark, and it's left a nub right there. Okay. Now I've got my knife to do my notching with. Now, the geometry of how you set up this pot hook makes a difference. Holding the pot hook up with this is where the pot's going to hang. I want to see how it hangs in my hand, and that's the side the knot's going to be on. Okay? Now, with this one, with the weight on it, and I'm just going to take the hilt of my knife for a moment and hang it up there. I'm actually going to hold it and see, because if I put the knot on the wrong side, it wants to hold out because that's the balance point, or hold in. I want it to curl up and in. So realizing that I want my knot on the inside, so it holds it up this way, and that makes this want to turn inward and would hold the pot further into that notch. See? So I'm going to want my notch right there. I'm going to just take my knife and real quickly I'm just going to cut a quick notch into it on the side that I want. Now this notch serves 2 purposes. One, it gives a place for that knot to connect into, and the bank line can't just slide off. It gives it a place to bite into, okay? And so a simple 7 notch is what we created. Now we're going to go to the cord. Okay, how long a piece of cord? Well, my tripod right here is about shoulder height, actually about this high. And I'm going to be from there to the ground, so about 4 feet. Now usually, somewhere around 45 feet is more than ample, depending on how tall I'm going to make a tripod. Now this is always going to be used for something down and dirty and quick. I'm going to walk away when I'm done with this. So I just want to use my cordage very conservatively to do what I need to do and nothing else. So we're going to say, for the sake of this argument, we're going to need about 4.5 feet. So I'm going to take it, but remember, we're going to be tying knots, and that's going to take up cordage length. So we're going to do it where it's about 1 full chest extension. We're going to take it, and we're going to do it where it's another full chest extension, like that. We're going to call that good, right there. Now we've got our line. What I want to do is get both ends of the line in our hand, just like that. We're going to pull it to find the center. Okay, there's the center. Now to attach it to my pot hook, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the loop, I'm going to take the loop, fold it down upon itself, and that makes those 2 loops. I'm going to fold those 2 loops together, and then I'm going to put that stick through it like that, and then I'm going to cinch it up tight where it bites down onto that limb, and I want the knot in the middle directly over the pot hook like that, so it will now hang straight. Okay, now I'm going to come up about, let's say foot and a half, something like that. That's as high as I need to bring it up, right? Okay, and what I'm going to do is, let's make a utility loop first, okay? You'll figure that out. We're going to come up here about that far up. We're going to simply take the line, go around your finger, forming that loop, and then we're going to take the rest of the double loops and go through it. Just like that. Now, when I go to pull it tight, I'm going to grab one of the lines, and I'm going to pull the line down and make a, see how it's uneven? This side's sticking out and that side's straight. Now I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to pull my 2 lines so they bite down on it, make a knot. So now I got this loop, okay? Now which side is this loop on? The loop's on this side. So now I want to go to this side on the opposite, come about 6 or 8 inches. Just like that. Do that again, go around my finger. Push through the loop, just like that. Pull it out. And then this time on the opposite side, I'm going to grab and pull that line first. You see how it bows it out? Then I'm going to pinch both lines and pull the top to cinch it down tight. Just like that. Okay? So now I got that big loop to that side. Now I go on up pretty good ways, about that far. Again, make a loop. Take the 2 ends, go through that loop, and before I pull it tight, now it's on that side, I'm going to go to the opposite side. I'm going to pull it out, just like that. And I'm going to pull the other 2 knots to tighten it up. So I've got now this loop standing out. Okay? Each time take a fingernail and hook that knot and pull down. That cinches it. So one side's slack and one side's tight. Okay? Come on up here about that high. Okay? Make a loop. Take the two ends, goes through the loop. And now, looking at it, which side does it need to be? Well, it needs to be on this side. So that side I pull so it's slack, just like that. And then I pull the knot down tight. Now sometimes this bank line, it wants to bind up. That's what I'm looking for, a loose slack. Okay, one more and I think we're done. Form a loop, go through, pull up, and this time it's going to be on this side. Just like that, pull the two knots, that left a nice big loop like that. Then come up here as the two ends, which you see have shortened up a little bit. Find where they're together. In fact, no. Put the two ends together. That's going to make a last loop, see? Go around and put a double knot in the last one. Because that is the end of the line, and if it untied, it drops somewhere, okay? Just going to go around. Now, this is super simple knots, guys. Super simple. Alright, now, we've created a loop, created another loop, created another loop, and another loop, and another loop, and finally the pot hook. Now let me set it up and I'll show you how this works. Now, you've got a tripod right here. And this stick right here is coming up and sticking up is one I'm going to use for the anchor. Now, with this series of loops, all I have to do is take my pot that I'm going to be utilizing, hook it onto it like that, and then I pick whichever one of these open loops I want to hang onto this one. Now make sure you can see that. I may be down a little too far. There. And simply by picking it up, it automatically got a loose loop. I can drop it all the way down to where it's almost touching the ground now, guys. I can come up one notch and brings it up 4 or 5 inches. I can come up again and that'll bring it up another 4 or 5 inches. I can come up again. See? And all I got to do is just come up and hook that loop over this. And the rest of these can just hang up here. Now this is out of the way. I ain't got to worry. I can hang a bush pot, I can hang this canteen cup, whatever on there, and it's kind of free to turn. And if I need to adjust, all I got to do is just pick up and drop it onto the next loop to drop it down, see? It ain't going to close up because those loops are two different sizes. So all I got to do is just, like this, open my hand up into the loop, pick up, go down to the next one. Instant adjustment, up or down, for what I need for that given pot. Quick and easy. And then whenever I'm done with it, that's what that first loop's for. I can hang it way up high and pick up and move this tripod out of the way and leave the pot there. Now I can build my fire back up. It's there, it's quick, it's handy, and it's ready to go. So, with something so simple as a piece of bank line, a piece of a tree I pulled off of something around here, one bushcraft zip tie and a couple of sticks, I have an instant cooking system ready to go. Now this cost me what? A little bit of line. But this is reusable over and over and over again. Could I reclaim this cordage? Yes. It's simple overhand knots the whole way. There's nothing there that I can't untie. So therefore, this will hold it. Now, will it melt and drop it in the fire? I have never had that happen. Because any cooking fire size, something that you could actually cook on, is not going to generate enough heat to get this above it. Where it will get it is you see these guys trying to cook on bonfires where it's 4 foot of flames coming out of it, and then they're trying to somehow hang a pot in it. All you're going to do is scorch or burn food, guys. And so if it's a low enough fire to be able to cook on, there's no danger of this melting. I've never had one melt and drop like that. Have I ever had something like this go bad? Yeah, after I had cooked, got done, hung up like this, my canteen cup, and somebody came over to use my fire and built up the fire to the point that the tripod caught on fire. Can't fix stupid. So, simple, easy project. Something you can do yourself. Any kind of hook that you can come up with in the field. A piece of bank line. One bushcraft zip tie and 3 sticks for a tripod. Super simple. All I gotta do now is just spiral this up and down around this stick like this. Give it a little tug in there because remember, that's bank line, it's kind of tacky, it sticks to itself. Now I could hang it in a tree over here. I can slide it down to my pack for my next place. whatever. I get a lot of uses. And whenever it finally, oh boy, the hook gave up. Remember, it was a simple loop I hooded in there with, basically a lark's head. I can just cut a new hook, slide it up in that loop, and still use it. Pretty simple, huh? With this, all I gotta do is pull that lock knot and reclaim my cord, and I can get the cord back out of this and have just my bushcraft zip tie to go back in my pack, and I'm back on the way. Hope this answers your question, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. And do me a favor before you go, hit that like, share, and subscribe to feed the algorithm for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Till next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.